So yeah, before we get into the nitty gritty of like the politics around that and the situation we have going, just sort of
Okay.
explain to people like what exactly the land bank does and how it actually helps people and how it operates, just a little
Sure.
overview.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, Landbank is exactly what it sounds like. It is a bank of land. So we have about 300, almost 400 properties right now that we're able to hold on to through tax-free. It's tax exempt for us. And we can either donate those properties to organizations that give back to the community, or we can do like a lot consolidation, which is our side lot program, or we can sell it. And it's very, very inexpensive. Typically, if a land is assessed at like $4,000, we'll sell it for $2,500 as our recommended minimum bid. And this allows people to build their own home and establish their own sense of community and that kind of thing. Sorry.
No, that's all good.
It's a very real interview today. But yeah, we do that sort of thing, and we try to partner with Housing Authority, Griffin Housing Authority, and Habitat for Humanity, and Square Foot Ministries, and different organizations that bring housing here.
All right, so what exactly was the vote about? Like, why did they want to dissolve the land bank? And who is it that wants to dissolve it? And how did the vote go the other day?
Sure, I don't mind explaining all of that. Newton Galloway is our chair, and he brought it before the board in early December, saying that he wanted us to consider dissolving the land bank because we're at pretty much a pivot point with our employees. We have one employee who's our executive director, and she is resigning at the end of this month. So he thought that it would be a great time to kind of explore, like, should we keep the land bank going? Do we need to dissolve? Let's look at our problems, let's strategize and see what we can come up with as far as what to do. And like I said, there's 5 board members, and all 4 of us, with the exception of Newton, wanted to keep the land bank going. He was the only one who wanted to dissolve. And in the last meeting, he had a different tune. So that was
So
good.
is it unanimous vote? Like,
Yeah,
how does that?
we all just kind of came together and decided that it was the right thing to do. We had too many ideas, and we knew how important the land bank was, and we had too many ideas on how to fix the problems, just to let it go, just to give up. So we make a pretty good team. Everybody's pretty good.
So are all issues resolved unanimously, or like was that just for the dissolution question?
Just for the dissolution question.
Okay.
We don't always agree. Most of the time I'm by myself in what I want to do. But for the majority of the time, we usually understand each other's point of views.
Okay, so if he had kept saying no and the vote came and he was the only one to vote against it, what would have happened? Would it have defaulted to dissolving, and could that happen in the future, or how would you go about solving that issue?
The majority of the board, like, we still carry the vote. The majority of the board does. So if all 4 of us went ahead and voted yes, and he was the only no, we would still go before the commissioners and recommend keeping the land bank, and hopefully have some type of strategy or plan for them of what we need or what our ideas are on how we can do better. So his vote, even though he's chair, is not weighted. So we all come to the table equally. But if there was a 3-2 or anything opposite where dissolving the land bank did pass, then that would have been a really, really terrible thing for our city and county, but also just a really complicated process to dissolve. Like I said, we have over 400 properties, so that has to go somewhere.
Yeah. Is it the county commission that you're answering to?
We answer to both the city and the county. They have an intergovernmental agreement. And I'm not worried about the city as much. They seem to be in favor of keeping the land bank going because they understand the value in it. The county, I'm a little bit worried about, mainly because Newton is also the planning and zoning attorney for Spalding County. So, I know that he's staff, and what he recommends is what they're going to consider. So I'm hoping that we can change it.
Okay, and are you super worried about what they're going to say? Like, even though you're recommending to keep the land bank, are you worried that they're going to overturn it anyways? And what might happen if the city commission and the county commission disagree?
I don't know what would happen if they disagreed. I'll be very honest. So the intergovernmental agreement says that we have city and county, we answer to both of those commissions. So if one of them wanted out of the agreement, then I imagine it would just dissolve. I don't see like the city saying, okay, well, we'll just take over, or, anything like that happening. So I think it's like either they're in it together or no one's in it at all.
And these votes would happen publicly, right? Like on the commissioner side? Okay.
Yeah. Right now we are on the city's commissioners agenda for their retreat that they have coming up on the 25th. So I imagine they would be doing some type of public workshop or vote, probably in February sometime. We'll see it then. We didn't make the county agenda for their retreat, which is happening right now. So in a way, that's kind of a positive thing, says they're not talking about us. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they can change that anytime they want to.
So could you kind of explain to people, like, how important is the land bank? Like, how have you actually helped the people that live in Spalding County directly?
Sure. Well, right now, one of the biggest ways that we're helping people is the SILOT program, which is like a lot consolidation. So let's say that you live in an area where your lot is only 1/8 of an acre, and then next door is one that we own that's 1/8 of an acre. Well, we will, in a sense, give you the property. However, there are other fees and charges that come with that. Just the clear title, the survey, that sort of thing, and then anything that the city is going to require. As far as permits and variances and that sort of thing. But it ends up where you can double your property for a very, very cheap amount of money. And, generational wealth is always a good thing to try to create. So, it promotes it in that way. We've also worked with a couple of organizations like My Brother's Keeper for the old Hastings building. So, we work with community organizations and also work for the community, just trying to allow for people to build their own equity and move forward in life.
Is the land bank partnered at all with any of the low-income housing programs around Griffin? Like maybe, it's escaping me now, but like any low-income housing for any people who struggle to pay for housing or may have previously been houseless? Like, do you partner with those programs to try and get people into like new homes?
Yes and no, I think is the answer to that question. Yes, in the fact that we work with Griffin Housing Authority, Square Foot Ministries. Square Foot Ministries is an organization that actually helps. It's kind of like a Habitat for Humanity, only on a smaller scale. So we've built several houses with them and help people become homeowners. There's programs that we're working on now that we're in this transition state to start bringing like education to homeowners and financial education and, just like how this all works. What is this process? I think it's very important that we have seminars and we have like free workshops to the community to come in and like, let us show you how you can go from not owning any property to owning a property with a house on it and keep it forever, or until you're ready to move to the next phase, and then you can make a little equity off of it. So, yeah.
Okay, well, that all sounds great because, because of the pandemic and because of economic and structural issues before the pandemic, we've seen an increase all over the country in houselessness, and even specifically in the city of Griffin here. So that's really good if you can do that for people, especially since, gentrification is creeping in a little bit, and house prices have been on the rise in recent years.
Yeah.
So what could people do, if anything, to sort of help the land bank's cause, or do you need like public interaction? Like, how could the citizens here actually get involved to help with this mission? Or is it all sort of governmental bureaucracy?
Oh, no. I love hearing from the citizens. I always encourage them to come to our meetings. We have a citizen comment section where, I always encourage everyone, give us your ideas. Like, how can we help you? How can we work better? What is it that you need that we're not fulfilling? Like, what can we do? I think hearing the community and being a part of the community is just vital to our existence. You always want to make sure that you're bringing in quality housing. And what does that mean? What does that look like? And you're not going to be able to know what that looks like unless you actually talk to the people who live in those areas, or people who want to build a house and that sort of thing. So no, I absolutely love it when citizens reach out. We have a website. If you want to send us an email or anything like that, it is at gsclba.org.
gsclba.org.
Yeah. And right now, like I said, we're in the transition period with our new executive director, like whenever they come in and the old one goes out. But that website is watched and it is maintained. So we would be able to get any emails. And I'm always free if anybody wants to give me a call or reach out on Facebook. It's totally fine.
Yeah, if you wanted, we could link some of your stuff in the description or whatever.
Oh, sure.
But
that'd be great.
Could you give out the meeting schedule, or is there a set schedule?
Yeah, there is. We meet the second Thursday of each month at 4 p.m. at Historic City Hall on the second floor.